want to start this by asking you guys a question. Who does here have failed before? It could be failed to find a job, failed to go to the university you really want, or just simply failed to do a task. I see a lot of hands. Well, I believe we all have failed at some point in our life, right? Because I would be really surprised if you haven't failed in anything at all. Failure is one of the most common things about us people. But surprisingly, it is one of the major topics that is being avoided to talk about. Maybe because that's what the society taught us. It taught us that failing means you're incompetent or not good enough. But in reality, failing is great. Yes, failing is great. It just means that you have more room to grow. And always remember that failure is part of a success. You cannot just be successful in a snap of a finger. In order to get up there, you need to face these challenges, these failures. So when you fail, learn from it. Don't let it get in your way. And besides, everybody fails. Failing is inevitable. Even those famous people all over the world fail at some point in their lives. In fact, I'm gonna share some fun facts with you guys. We know these famous people how got successful, but we don't know what's behind success. So let's take a look at their failures and how it helped them to be successful. Let's start with Milton Hershey. Milton Hershey is the founder of Hershey's chocolate. But I think you've already guessed that it is him. Hershey's company is his already third company, because apparently the first two went bankrupt. Yes, but even after those two failures, he still kept going and continued to create the Hershey's company. And now the Hershey's chocolate is one of the famous chocolate all over the world. Next is Walt Disney. Walt Disney is famously known for his animated films. Mulan, The Lion King, Cinderella, the movies we used to watch when we were kids. But before he got famous, he used to work in a newspaper company, but he was fired. You know why? Because they think that he lacks an imagination. The same Walt Disney that now has a net worth of 30 billion and 100 of theme parks all over the world. Next is Colonel Harland. Colonel Harland is the founder of KFC restaurant. He is also the man in the KFC logo. But before he got famous, he tried to sell his chicken recipe to a lot of people, but rejected 1,000 times. But even after all those rejections, he finally met his right partner. And now the KFC has a lot of branches all over the world. So you see, even these famous people failed at their life, but they just kept going, because that's life. Sometimes you'll be in the bottom for a while, but eventually you'll rise up. Just like a quote from Janet Fitch, "A phoenix must burn to emerge." Just like phoenix, us people must need to fail in order to succeed. So start accepting your failures. Celebrate them if you want. Be friend with it, walk with it hand in hand, and maybe it will take you to the right path. Just like what I've experienced a year ago. I really want to go to this university, but I'm not gonna mention the name. So I studied for days and weeks with my friends. We used to skip lunch just to go straight to the library because we really want to ace the test. And I can still remember the day of examination. I'm really happy because I am finally one step ahead of my dreams. And then the results came out. As I scrolled through the names, I didn't see my name. So I convinced myself that maybe it's just a lag in my computer or a connection problem in our Wi-Fi. So I refreshed the site and scrolled through down names again, and I didn't see my name. And then it hit me. I finally realized that I failed. And at that moment, I cried. I cried for hours. I keep telling myself that why am I such a failure? I keep hating myself. I keep saying these hateful words to myself. And then the specific song played, The Climb of Miley Cyrus. It slapped me back to the reality that I failed, but it doesn't mean the game is over. So Now I am enrolled in a university I really want, and so far, so good. And maybe this is the right path for me. Another quote from Lance Armstrong: "Pain is temporary, but quitting is forever." So when you fail, just cry. Let it all out. But after all of these years, wipe it all out and ready to get back up. Because the battle doesn't end there. And let's start focusing what's right now. And stop overthinking about the future. The future will eventually come, but let's not live there just yet. So say to yourself that I am a failure for now. And that's okay.
Good day. If you are watching this, I have a question for you. Do you have a bipolar disorder? Do you know what is bipolar disorder is? What are the symptoms and how to prevent bipolar disorder? Before, I had times when I felt terrific, better than I ever had. I felt like I could do anything I set in my mind. My productivity at school works soars and I study late into the night. All of a sudden, I'm drowning in depression. I can't get up in the morning to go to school, and I feel like my life isn't worth living. This feeling bothered me every time. So, I decided to go in our guidance office since I'm close to our guidance counselor. She asked me, what is my problem? What's on my mind? It's really hard for me to open up, to share with others my problems, my thoughts, because I never ever tell anyone to others my problems. Even my parents, friends. That was my first time to open up all of my thoughts. She gave me advice. That time, she listened carefully to my rants and stories. After giving me advice, my heart cleared that time. I feel like I'm free in jail. A month after, I still have mood cycles that are a bit irregular, but they aren't constant highs and lows. I actually have periods of time where I feel regular. But in last year, I had periods of depression and some prolonged periods of hypermania. I also tend to experience mixed episodes where I'm both severely depressed, but with a lot of energy and restlessness. Mixed episodes scare me the most, where I feel like I completely lost myself. In mixed episodes, I put myself in dangerous situations or excessively use substance. I've ruined relationships because I didn't think I was deserving of love. Being hypermania tends to make less hungry, but in times of mixed episode, I restrict my food intake as means of self-harm. Mania is an extreme feeling of well-being, energy, and optimism. You feel on top of the world. These feelings, however, can be so intense that you can lose contact with reality. You may find yourself believing strange things about yourself, making bad judgments, and behaving in embarrassing, harmful, and sometimes even dangerous ways. Mania can make it difficult untreated, destroy your relationships and your daily lives. Less inhibited about your sexual behavior. When someone is in the middle of a mania episode for the first time, they usually do not realize that there's anything wrong. It is often friends, family, and colleagues who first thought there is a problem. Many people report that when they have recovered from one of these episodes, they regret the things that they said and did while manic episode. Depression is feelings of sadness or something we all experience from time to time. It is a natural reaction to losses and painful events. With time, these feelings disappear. Someone with bipolar disorder, a depressive episode can be much more severe with bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is an illness that produces dramatic mood swings. A person with bipolar disorder will alternate between two periods of mania, elevated mood, and periods of depression, feelings of intense sadness. And between two extremes, a person will have two periods of normal mood. Medical help such as medications can greatly aid in managing these high and lows so that a person can live effectively with bipolar disorder. If you think you may be experiencing these kinds of symptoms, talk with your family and friends, and see your family doctor or call local mental health. Or you may undergo counseling and treatment works. Having bipolar disorder does not mean you are broken. It means you are strong and brave for battling your mind every single day. According to Juliet Leith, bipolar is like being a roller coaster ride. Sometimes you can predict drop-offs and others. You just hang on because the next turn sends you into an unexpected spiral. So look for something positive in each day, even if some days you have to talk a little harder. Let the challenges make you strong. That's all.